Hello, YouTubers. Here's Joe of Joe and Paul, and we're really Joe and Paul now. Uh,
Yeah, I'm home from work.
on
And the new dog.
February 14th at 5:25. And as Paul points out, he indeed is home from work, and he's had a visit to his new dock, and with relatively, good news and a relatively reasonable regimen.
Yeah. She agrees. I do have hypertension and I need to be on more than one pill.
Yeah, heretofore he's just been on the lisinopril, 40 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the Flomax.
well, that's for his prostate.
Which doesn't have a problem.
Well, it's an alpha blocker, so it's got a cardiovascular effect, but more to the, it's given to let him empty his bladder, so he doesn't get all infected and pussed out inside his bladder. And I can tell you, having smelled all the infected stuff before he went on this, it's really, really working well. But nonetheless, he does need to be a little bit something else. So
I'm back on the amlodipine.
There you go.
Once a day, I take it when I come home from work.
Amlodipine,
instead of before I go to work.
10 milligrams a day.
Right.
This seems to be very reasonable. Now, I can't interfere, as I explained in the previous video, but this seems to be a very reasonable approach. Now, what I find as a sort of an uninsured quasi-layman now, he showed me his bill. Now he's very fortunate to have a lot of insurance from his hotel job. God bless him for that. God bless him for that.
$45 a week.
Yes, he pays that, and then they pick up the rest of it. And he's completely, anyway, leaving aside the fact that he's, not that he set out to make use of it, by the way. It's just that that's how circumstances worked out. But this...
I started it just in case I might need something. And boy, have I needed it.
Well, yes, he has. Yes, he has needed it. More to the point, he showed me his bill, and it's all done in unit pricing. Well, it was a 1-unit price because it was an initial visit and so forth. Well, when I did anesthesia, I priced in units. Well, we did 15-minute units. And it worked out that, four 15-minute units. When I finally stopped working in 1991, was $164 for an hour. So basically $164 an hour. Now, when I started out in 1978, it was $12 units, so it was a $64 an hour charge. Now, the cheapest attorney I ever used was $150 an hour, and then the second cheapest, which was basically pretty much instantaneously after the first cheapest.
The bone.
Well, no.
Oh.
That was a prefix sort of divorce. But let's see. Okay. So anyway, so this individual was charging Paul $200 for an initial visit. $200. Now I could. Well, no, I can't quite understand that, but I can understand maybe 160 or 170 for a true initial visit. First time I've laid eyes on you, no previous records, I know nothing about you.
I never paid Jennifer over $80 out of the pocket.
I'm not talking about out of pocket, I'm talking about the actual charge. I mean, that's the way my ex-wife thinks about things. I say, well, how much did it cost you? She says, well, it's $5. Well, no, I mean, she spent 2 hours with somebody. Says it cost $5. No, it didn't cost $5. What was the actual bill? So Paul's actual bill today was $200. Now, as it turned out, he paid $15 out of pocket. But now, see, my ex-wife would say, oh, that was only a $15 visit. No, it was a $200 visit.
So that was a copay.
If I walked in and saw this, they'd charge me $200. Now, one would hope that one might hearken back to the thing called professional courtesy, in which a doc took care of a doc for free, and indeed, the Hippocratic Oath, which it's a pagan oath, so I don't hold much stock with it, but it does mention the fact that you would teach the art, not the trade, the art of medicine to the children. They call it the sons. I know it's very sexist nowadays and very politically incorrect, but the sons of the person who taught you the art, professional courtesy. Now, when I was doing anesthesia, I happened to do anesthesia for a surgeon that was a lot of physicians were referred to him because he was a tremendous surgeon. Larry Carey was a tremendous surgeon, and he was an expert in, he was profoundly expert general surgeon. He did a lot of pancreatic work, and I was part of his first 12 interns at Ohio State, and then as it worked out, I did a lot of this anesthesia when he was down at this hospital in Columbus, and he was doing a lot of surgery on docs from around Ohio and indeed outside of Ohio. And I was fortunate enough and privileged enough to take care of these people. So I did that. Well, I did that. We did a lot. Now there were 2 years there where it sort of concentrated in. So there was one year where I did a lot of this stuff, and I just wasn't charging them. I wasn't even doing I wasn't even billing Medicare. I wasn't even doing Medicare only or insurance only or whatever. I just wasn't billing them. And then at the end of the year, I looked at that and I realized that I had forsworn upwards of $30,000 plus income. That way, okay, that's fine. I mean, that's part of the deal, isn't it? On the other hand, I realized most of these guys had insurance anyway, and some of these guys had Medicare. So I thought, well, I can bill them for just the insurance or the Medicare, and then not have them pay anything out of the pocket. I've agonized. Well, I can't say agonized, but I considered that for a while, and so I thought, well, depending on the circumstances and where the guy came from, and if I know the guy and how close the connection is to Dr. Carey and so forth. So I did that the second year, and then I looked at the results after that second year, and I realized I'd still forsworn $30-some thousand worth of income, even when I was doing minimal free stuff, because by that time Dr. Carey's physician practice really picked up. And, great cases, by the way, professionally, really, really great cases.
They were fun and neat. They were selling your lives.
Well, I mean, yeah, they were tremendous. So the last, sort of the third year, I thought, well, I'll make it a point to do Medicare only or insurance only. Well, then I got this thing from Medicare that said, you either have to charge full rate or none at all. Because I thought they were thinking I was working a Medicare scam. Well, what do you do? I mean, the problem sort of solved itself because by that time, then Dr. Carey retired. Well, he didn't retire. took a position as chairman of surgery down in University of South Florida in Tampa, and so all those referrals stopped. I mean, I didn't do very many docs after that, and then I was doing very occasional docs. I might have done eight or nine a year rather than 70 or 80 or 100 a year like I was doing. So I quite frankly can't remember how I got onto this little digression, except we're talking about fees. Paul's fees.
Yeah, my fees were
Yeah.
20
So
minutes,
yeah,
maybe 25.
maybe if Paul tells this woman that he lives with a doc, maybe she'd give him professional courtesy.
I did. There's your professional courtesy.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great? It's just so wonderful it's very wonderful to be alive. I suppose, except unless you're chained up and being tortured, like in Iran or, pretty much any place you don't agree with the ruling class or clique. The way they torture people in the United States is that they just come in and take your property and tax you off it. That's how they torture you here. They don't chain you to the wall. They're very courteous about it.
Cut your pay. Cut your hours. Overcharge you for repairing your car when they don't repair properly.
Oh, yes. Well,
let's not go there.
Yes. We don't need to get into that. At least not today. So I guess, is there any really, Paul's on treatment, or as they said in the British sitcom,
I'm home, I'm fine, and she agrees that I do have a blood pressure thing, and I need to go back on one of my old blood pressure pills.
Excellent.
Where at the hospital they were telling me I did not have the blood pressure problem.
It's just there's all sorts of things that people say. Well, anyway. So he's being taken care of, and all the state laws and ethics were obeyed, and that's just Gila, isn't it? So, anything else?
No. Fine, I'm going back. Work tomorrow.
Yes, Deo Valente.
Tomorrow's my laundry day. It's Friday.
And so it's a 10 o'clock day, 10 o'clock morning?
Yeah.
10 o'clock start.
I get sleep in.
He gets sleep in. I myself have to, work around the 10 o'clock start. But that's okay, because we're all here together. Alrighty now, bye-bye.